What's up there, workforce? Chris here.
Brian here.
And today is time to talk about a reaction to the reaction. Mr. Happy put out his impressions on Bozja, probably the single most comprehensive reaction I've seen to it so far. If you guys want to go over there and know what is going on, he talks about every part of what it is, what all there is, what it has to offer, what you should concern yourself with. It's not the guides on the bosses, it's spoiler free. It's not there's a lot more depth to be explored, but for an initial impressions, it's dangerously close to being the complete guide of Bozja.
Yeah.
And the things that he can't get to are very time consuming. So I imagine those videos aren't going to be turned around for, I don't know, he plays like 92 hours a day, so they'll probably take him at least 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian.
Yes. So
what do you think?
So honestly, like this video came up. I like watching Mr. Happy's videos. He does a great job. And the top link in the description is for this video, guys. You should absolutely go give it some watch time, give it some likes as well, because it's important. It's an important piece of work within the community. But he raises some interesting points, and I said, Chris, what do you think about that? And then when I said that, when I asked you that question, it turns out we have both done the two different experiences with 535 unintentionally, and then
we did not divide and conquer.
And then we started to talk about it, and then we said, we should just record. We should, back to the thing, like, all right, no, let's just fire this up. Let's talk about this. But before we dive in with some thoughts, the one plug I do want to make is I am less than 70 subscribers away from 1K on Ginger Gaming Radio. Typically, I like to say, don't subscribe unless you're going to watch. But honestly, if you get me over that 1K mark, I can tag all the guests. We've had Benny from Comic Storian. We've had Larryzar. We've had so many guests on the podcast, and it'd be really helpful to be able to actually link those podcasts to them on YouTube. So if you guys link,
something, man,
always
YouTube's
something.
Always got some finish line.
Some finish line.
You gotta make it. You gotta be this tall to ride this ride.
So
I just want to tag guests.
Just tag them. So while we're not there on the monetization, the second link under Mr. Happy's video is for the latest video that I just highlighted. I just posted, which is why Final Fantasy XI is God tier. Be sure to click that link, hit that subscribe button, and if you get me over 1K, thank you so much for your support. But that's not what this is about. This is about, is Bozja, is the relic, is it too easy? Because that's the thing that Happy kind of brings up. When you go...
That's what he brought up.
That's how I felt, so that's why I'm glad we're hitting record. When I go out into the Fate zones in Heavensward, it's like 100% drop rate. I'm getting them all the time. You, Chris, as a spoiler, like non-spoiler, you got your relic.
I got my relic.
I have been just living in the Bozjan Southern Front. You went out and got the effective relic, the efficient relic. I've been just doing the everything plan.
I did fates on my black mage. I did one round of fairy dailies. I did one trial roulette. I did one leveling roulette, and I did fates out in the world until I got enough of the little pieces to upgrade my warrior relic. All of that while making progress on my warrior relic while leveling my black mage, so it'll be 71. It is now well into 71, so I am now ready to go into Bozja, where I will continue to earn fragments for my gunbreaker relic at a slower pace, while also finding bittersweet memories, which I got from the leveling roulette, which is the way to upgrade my warrior relic to have a glow. It will not gain stats. It is at the max eye level. I have my level 500 weapon, and it will stay that level. But I can make it glow.
And that's awesome and important. The glow is why we do this, right? I do things for glowy things. Ask me about Destiny.
So yes, so I went off and pursued my relic because it's a 100% drop rate. Out in the zones, super fun. The hardest thing is that it's hard to get a tag because there's a bunch of people on these freaking blue mages which have never been balanced with anything. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about it's awesome. It's so much fun. So what we're talking about is he does mention that it is shockingly easy. It removes the grind that people who don't want the grind complain about from previous relic systems. Any of the previous relic systems. Eureka was too grindy. Atmos too grindy. This really says, no, you go out, you run 60 fates at gold, 20 across each of 3 zones. I'm going to give you 6 zones to choose from, so 2 of each. You don't like one, that's fine. And I will give you a relic. No questions asked. You need what, 1,000 poetics and 2 hours of fate grinding. That's it, and you have your relic. You have a level 500 weapon. So he does say that's easy. I don't think that's the only thing he talks about. He also lists off all of the rewards that are available in Bozja. You've got loot boxes, you've got mounts, you've got clusters to buy things from a vendor, you've got coins to get gear where you're gonna get, they got 22 in their first clear and you need like 1,000.
Yeah.
I assume that they're doing something wrong where you can actually get like 200 a run.
Yeah.
But like a very EverQuest lesson where
you didn't click this button over here,
and then it turns out it's like, no, it was never meant to be a 50-hour boss. You guys were just doing it wrong. Yeah. I don't know, but maybe it really is meant to take weeks and weeks and weeks, and you have to choose, do I want pants or a chest?
So beyond the gear, because essentially I think
a lot.
The concept comes down into the weapon, because the pathway I've been taking with this game so far has been enjoyable. I'm leveling up Bard. I'm almost 77. Starting from 71, almost 77. The XP is legit awesome. It's the last job that I have to level.
It's too easy?
No, I don't. But here's why. Like when we've looked at the relic system in the past, I'm wondering if we're seeing an evolution that ultimately has a good payoff. And the reason is that typically the relic system went from massive grind, easy step, big hard step, easy step. And so that's how the pattern has been. My thought is now, because I'm for whatever reason just like, I'm going to keep investing, the steps get more intensive because we know there are more steps coming down the line. But it then culminates in a bigger ask. Instead of having if anybody's ever heard the term, like you have a weed out class, like there's a class, of course, either in high school or college. The
objective is to thin the herd.
The objective is to get people out of here that
don't belong.
Right. And so instead of having that right up front, like, by the way, you want to have this, we're going to weed you out, and so you're not going to participate in the rest of this. It could easily be a setup, a system that is that, well, we might have the weed out class at the last step, but you've already also invested so much in it that last step could ask for way more of your time and your effort to be able to get that over the finish line. And we don't, so in the context of it, my thought is that instead of having these random bigger walls that are designed to take up more of your time, it's lessened a little bit, and it gives the player more choice. Because so you went in and you got it. You knocked out the memories of the dying.
Done.
Cool.
Yep.
I'm making good progress towards it. And based off the lane that you're in, that's the memory you might get.
I have the world's most tragic axe.
the most tragic axe in the world.
It's imbued with the memories of dying in battle.
And so with that, and my thought here is that I am leveling up my Bard. I am also getting various currencies. I am also getting my rank up. I hit rank 10. Sure. I'm about to do the whole Citadel thing. And then I'm going to get to rank 15. Like I told you, if I'm able to keep up this pace, there is a world in which that I have capped out Eureka in a week or less than. And I've also hit all my jobs to 80. And, it's like, it feels like I'm just
and our
being...
next piece of content is December.
Right. And so, honestly, that's great, because if I'm done and I've got everything that I want to do, there's other games to play. I'm living the...
resistance gear, because that'll be the people who stick around and play nonstop.
Right. But that's the Citadel, right? And if there's other ways that opens up, then that's great, because all of a sudden they have sit here and said, here is a buffet, right? This is going to take a long, there's a long line for the pizza, but right now you can just jump in on those chicken wings, go nuts and have fun and get your fill and get all the relics if you want, or don't. And so that's where I actually look at this, and I'm personally really excited about it. Now, like we were talking in this, when we started talking about it, I go, ask me again in 2 weeks. I'm like, all right, I've done everything. What am I going to do now? And that's where it's hopefully the content has that hook. It holds onto us itself. But I just thought it was a really it so far feels outside of the Citadel, because who knows what the 1,000, you get 22 per run. It's not always up. The thing is,
that's the takeaway. You hit on a couple, so you've hit on a lot of points here.
I have.
So the takeaway here is not that it's too easy or that it's too hard. It's not that the coins are too few. It's not that it's too quick to get your relic. The takeaway is that it took him, I don't know how long that video was, but it took him that whole video to state the initial serving of the number of things you can do. Mm-hmm. It did not give the definitive guide on any of them. It did not give the definitive optimized path on any of them. it literally took that long just to tell you the number of things that are inside this content.
Mm-hmm.
And so the takeaway here, yes, the echo chamber portion of me did take a note that he did note that it is possible that while this won't fragment the community yet, because the critical engagements are up all the time and stuff, that it may fragment the community long term, where we have people stuck in these different level bands and you want to be in these other bands because they're going to have drops you need or whatever. And so I did take note of that, but like that kind of one complaint that I'm also concerned about aside, I think the takeaway here is what you're talking about, where you're making a lot of points in rapid fire because there is a lot to do. There's an immense amount of things to do. And it's just a huge piece of content and you don't have to do all of it. And so I think that's the takeaway here, is that it's exciting that, because I could already feel you like, and then I want to talk about this, and then I want to talk about, like, there is so much. I
was impressed. I was impressed by you today, like with the fact that you got the relic. I mean, while it didn't ask that you spend 20 years doing the content,
Sure.
It was just really cool to hear, like, oh wait, you did that. Like, I went and tested it for the guide, which I posted on Ginger Prime, and I was like, yeah, it's great drop rate, but it's not my end game. It's not what I am striving to accomplish. And then there are people going,
not to just knock it out.
Well, now that has me going and debating it. Now it has me going, is that a stream? Is that a stream? We are literally doing this. And then you brought up the Blue Mage as an example. Blue Mage are just blasting down this thing. You told me, hands down, your greatest weakness in it, if you're going to put a definitive guide on farming up these memories, it's being a party, because you were getting outclassed. You weren't getting the gold rank. You're getting silvers because you weren't in a group. You got in a group, solved the problem because everybody's DPS is going up. The other side of this,
you don't get the drop when you get the silver. I didn't, across all the silvers I got, I didn't get the drop a single time.
So it's definitely gold.
So you gotta get gold. It's 100% on gold. If it's on silver, it must be incredibly rare. And as a black mage, you show up and you go to like cast something. Cast bar says interrupted, and what they mean is your target is dead.
Yeah.
Like, there are 72 blue mages here. Your target is gone.
Yes. And so the Blue Mage farm is definitely a treat. The public aspect is definitely a treat. But yeah, it does have me go and say, on Saturday, when I stream Saturday morning, is it a stream of, this is just what we're doing, guys? Like, I'm going to go cap out on these zones. Where it's like, instead of doing 20 and then 20 and then 20, in my mind, the efficient thing to do is either stream or put on a show and just go fate to fate to fate to fate to fate. And I was doing this on a bard as well, so it's not that it's 100% drop. Yeah, you just have to have the quest. So just like in Bozja, you just have to have the quest accepted to get the availability or the option for the drop. But
so I immediately picked up the quest for my gunbreaker weapon so that I'll continue getting those drops. So right now I have all three sets. Like, I have a quest to go do in Bozja, and then I'm getting the drops for my next relic, and I'm getting the drops for my glow. And then hopefully by the time I get that glow, I'm ready to move my gunbreaker to the glow step, and then my black mage to the give me my relic. So
yeah, and that way you always have that up, so you're always farming those up, especially
getting drops.
So there is like a value here in like advice of saying, just take a couple of hours and just do the fate thing and get the relic piece, do that step, and then be out. And when you're ready for Bozja, and so here it's the real kind of kicker, just the thought that kind of occurred to my mind, is one of the things that I complained about with Eureka was, if I had 3 hours, Eureka was where I wanted to go and play. But I never found myself all the time with 2 to 3 hours to play. And so the idea that if I had 15 minutes, like if somebody said, hey, Brian, you got 15, 20 minutes, what do you want to do? I could go and grab some of this stuff via fates. I could go out there and run a fate, maybe 2 fates, in that time frame, and be able to pick up two things, rather than say, I can't do anything that I want, that I need towards progress. I guess I'll just go play something else. And so when I've talked to you about it, when I've talked to others about it, it's that I find the path of least resistance. If I have a long amount of time, these more games open up to me. If I have a short amount of time, it's unfortunate that some of those games fall off the list. But 14 doesn't do that in this case, due to the nature of how they've structured this step of the relic.
What if Skysteel Tools also? I mean, what does that do to the pacing? That's a totally other thing you could dump your time into that you and I haven't touched them yet.
Right. I have
Bozja, Bojangles, whatever we're pronouncing this as.
I have no interest in the Skysteel Tools because it doesn't help my auto repair. Like, that is why I have those craft. It's not an efficient use of my money. Like, I'm not making money on repairing my own gear. However, I like that ability that I can repair my own gear. And outside of that, like, I have no interest in Skysteel tools. Glad they exist. Totally all for, yay, go nuts, crafters. Cool. Like, what about you?
You just talk about something that could take 5-10 minutes. Like, I don't know what all the steps to that are. I haven't touched it yet. Cool. I think it was exciting to see. I mean, obviously he's gotten further than us, because while I don't normally caffeinate, and I've been caffeinating in like every video lately, because like I have played or done content creation like 26 of the last 36 hours. And then I have maybe more. It's a lot. It's enough that you have to question if I slept a full amount, and the answer is I didn't. And then I hear Happy's, and I'm like, he played more than me. Like, oh my gosh. So it'll be interesting to see how this stuff ages, and the people who will get down the aging curve the fastest will be the people who put in the real time. The people who sit there and by Friday they have their relic on every single class, they have the glow on every single relic, they have, they're at resistance rank 15, they've been farming coins for every remaining waking minute, and they are treating this like it is a race for a title and achievement, and they are just getting after it. And that's the question, is like, what does that aging curve look like? Now they're going to burn out, and then they won't have anything to do until December, but that'll tell us, like, okay, if I do this at a more casual pace, what will I feel like in December, where I will just be reaching what they're going to reach, now. Because you and I are not going to be able to sustain yesterday's pace day in and day out.
Oh no, our wives and our jobs would be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? We haven't seen you in months. I did all this cool stuff. Great. How are you paying for your house?
My weapons glow.
My weapons glow. Good. Cheers, mate. It's nice knowing you. On that note, guys, are the relics too easy? What do you guys feel like? What kind of adjustments would you make? What did you think about the idea of this being kind of the steps being less investy up front, and maybe having something around the 555 patch, having that kind of bigger chunk, that bigger investment, especially as we build up to the expansion? I'd love to know any and all thoughts.
Do you guys have concerns, right? Are we going to leave people behind? Are the coin drops not right? Is the resistance gear not worth getting? That's a point that Mr. Happy hits on. Is the stat line on this stuff something worth being excited about? And if it's not, are there enough other rewards to offset that? Is this content well enough rewarded? I think at a core level, I was doing it yesterday and I was getting no rewards, and because I didn't have the right quests and stuff. So I was just in there with my level 80 character, not getting rewards. And I was just in there having fun. And like, I was dying, losing metal, because, it turns out tank stance on and not a healer, you're gonna die. Because he talked about those star mobs will kill you. He's like, yeah, I heard they can, he said, I heard they can one-shot a tank.
They can.
I'm hearing they can one-shot a tank. And I'm like, no, they will one-shot a tank. I've been that tank. They will absolutely wreck your face. All right. We did go back and kill that fern. It dropped a ton.
We did. We crushed it.
We crushed that fern.
Yeah. We had one guy I was like, is that guy gonna go for it? Oh, he's going for it.
Heroed it.
He's
a red mage.
Let's go, guys. And all of a sudden,
everybody was like,
all right,
okay,
we're going. It was so good. Guys, let us know as well as your thoughts if you like this video. If you hit that subscribe button and this is the video does it, let us know so we can welcome you officially to the workforce. But for Work to Game, my name is Brian.
My name's Chris.
Thanks so much for tuning in, and we hope you have a fantastic day.
Go try Bozja.
Go try it. This video is sponsored by me, Ginger Prime. Hopefully you'll check out my podcast channel, Ginger Gaming Radio, which we have lots of guests, lots of great conversations, and even more highlights. Links are in the description below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.